There are fighters who chase legacy, and then there are those who embody it. But every now and then, a man appears who seems born for the storm, calm amid chaos, ruthless in rhythm, and devastatingly precise. That man is Naoya Inoue, the monster, Japan's silent hurricane. And the story of his rise isn't just one of victory. It's a chronicle of vengeance, redemption, and an artistry that reshaped modern boxing. It began with a challenge. These fighters decided to provoke the monster himself, the voice echoed through the arena. Someone once said, "He's too small for me. Too short." That arrogance would soon meet a cruel awakening. Because when Inoue steps through the ropes, every second becomes a test of survival. The moment his gloves touch leather, violence becomes inevitable. And that night, everyone watching knew something terrifying was about to unfold. The name Luis Neri still carries a bitter taste in Japan. It's a name that resurrects memories of betrayal, a chapter stained by disrespect. Neri wasn't just another opponent. He was the man responsible for ending the legendary career of Shinsuke Yamanaka, a national icon. Their first fight ended in heartbreak when Neri stopped the undefeated champion. But the victory came tainted. A banned substance, zilpaterol, appeared in his test. When they met again, Neri missed weight and still celebrated after another knockout, waving his arms as if he'd conquered the world. For Japanese fans, it wasn't a triumph. It was an insult. Years later, Japan's new hero would seek to settle that score. Naoya Inoue stepped forward not out of hatred, but duty. Revenge is never loud in his world. It's quiet, cold, and absolute. And this time, the monster was hunting. When the referee gave his final instructions, both men stared through each other. "Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now." Few realized what was about to happen. Neri promised war, claiming he would force Inoue into an early finish. But wars require preparation, and against Inoue, carelessness is suicide. From the opening bell, Inoue was patient. He flicked the jab, reading distance, measuring reactions. 2023 had been his golden year. Fighter of the Year, undisputed champion, and the first Japanese boxer to win that honor in nearly a century. The Tokyo crowd pulsed with anticipation. But suddenly, Neri landed a surprise uppercut inside. Inoue dropped. A gasp filled the arena. For the first time in years, the monster had been touched. The illusion of invincibility cracked. As he rose, Inoue's expression didn't change. No panic. No anger. Only focus. It was as if he had been waiting to feel something real again. Round 2 began, and with it, Inoue's methodical return. The jab reappeared, snapping through air like a whip. He circled, adjusted, and dissected. Neri lunged forward, desperate to capitalize, but Inoue's eyes had recalibrated. Every feint was now a trap. Every advance, a mistake. Then came the counter, a left hook so precise it dropped Neri hard. The crowd erupted. The monster was awake. From that moment, it was no longer a fight, it was a dismantling. Inoue moved with grace, landing combinations that were more rhythm than rage. He punished Neri's overreach, reading him like a script he'd memorized. Round 3 was a masterclass. The pace slowed in Inoue's mind, each movement deliberate. Step back, pivot, counter, body shot, left hook. The crowd roared at every clean connection. Neri's confidence began to drain. The same man who once disrespected a nation now faced its avenger. By the 4th, Neri's corner could see it unraveling. Inoue's attacks flowed like poetry. Jab, hook, pivot, body. Every punch had a purpose, every step calculated. The air thickened with inevitability. Then came the finish, a left hook perfectly timed, pure precision. Neri hit the canvas again. Inoue stared down, calm and merciless. With under 30 seconds left, he unleashed one final storm. Neri crumbled beneath the weight of timing and power. The crowd exploded into chaos, but Inoue didn't celebrate wildly. He just turned to his corner, expression unchanged. Job done. Score settled. Pride restored. That was the difference. Inoue wasn't driven by anger. He was driven by order. His strength wasn't only physical, it was mental architecture, built through patience and perfection. He wasn't chasing destruction. He was creating balance. But even victory wasn't enough to satisfy him. Another storm was already forming. His next target, the American champion, Stephen Fulton. Confident, skillful, and vocal. Fulton didn't just doubt Inoue, he disrespected him. I refuse to let my fighter get in the ring with someone who has loaded gloves, Fulton's camp claimed. It's only hype because he's Japanese. Fulton promised exposure, not competition. He believed he would humble the monster. The stage was set in Tokyo once again. The arena lights dimmed. The crowd held its breath. The bell rang. From the opening second, Inoue's rhythm was unmistakable. Sharp. Controlled. Calculated. Fulton tried to use his jab to manage distance, but Inoue's timing disrupted everything. His jab wasn't just a setup, it was a weapon, snapping through Fulton's guard, piercing the body, then rising to the head. It was surgical. Fulton's expression shifted. He had expected pressure, not precision. Round after round, Inoue dictated the pace. Fulton's attempts to establish rhythm met walls of accuracy. Even when he blocked, the power pushed him off balance. The sound of Inoue's gloves echoed through the dome like gunfire. Fulton tried to fight back inside, but found no room to breathe. Every retreat was hunted down, every pivot countered. Inoue was 2 steps ahead. By the middle rounds, the difference in speed and sharpness became glaring. Fulton landed a few solid shots, but Inoue's counters came faster, harder, and cleaner. His combinations, jab, hook, right hand, arrived like lightning. The blood under Fulton's nose told the story that words couldn't. The monster wasn't chasing him. He was consuming him. Round 5 saw Fulton fighting out of pride, not strategy. He moved, feinted, and jabbed, but Inoue's control was suffocating. Each step forward cornered Fulton further into a trap he couldn't escape. The crowd felt it. The scent of an ending was in the air. Round 6 was the tightening of that noose. Fulton's legs faltered, his reactions slowed, and Inoue's pressure intensified. The jab had neutralized him entirely. It wasn't chaos, it was structure. Fulton was being deconstructed in real time. And then came round 8. Inoue stepped in with a right hand, fast, short, and devastating. Fulton's body stiffened. He staggered and tried to clench, but the monster's instincts took over. The follow-up was pure brutality, executed with beauty. Hooks, uppercuts, and precision strikes. Fulton collapsed. The referee waved it off. Tokyo erupted once again. The monster had claimed 2 more belts, unifying the division. Naoya Inoue had done what few thought possible. 4 weight classes. Undisputed supremacy. Each victory had been different, yet identical in its message. You can't prepare for perfection. Fulton, humbled and bloodied, later admitted, "It was that shot I didn't see that did the job." He's a good fighter. A simple confession, but one that echoed truth. Against Inoue, good isn't enough. Still, the monster's hunger was far from satisfied. The next name was Marlon Tapales, a Filipino warrior known for his grit and shock victories. Tapales entered confident, unshaken by the aura surrounding Inoue. "I want it to go 12 rounds, he said. "I want to enjoy it." Inoue smiled slightly. Enjoyment wasn't something opponents usually found in his ring. When fight night arrived, there was a stillness in the air. Tapales stood across from him, gloves tight, expression composed. Inoue looked relaxed, but his focus was razor-sharp. The bell rang, and round 1 began. Immediately, Inoue's speed was visible. Even his light jabs snapped Topale's head back. His 1-2 combinations were clean, effortless, and punishing. Topales, brave and compact, tried to close the gap, but every forward step brought pain. Inoue's sense of timing was alien. His punches arrived in moments others couldn't perceive. By round 3, Inoue began layering his attack. Double jabs, angles, and body shots that landed like hammer strikes. Topales held his guard high, but Inoue found cracks. Short hooks slipped through, thudding against ribs, echoing through the ring. Topales grimaced but kept coming. The courage was real, but courage alone can't stop momentum. Then, round 4. The explosion came. Inoue cornered Topales and unleashed a left-right combination that blurred through space. Both punches landed perfectly. Topales dropped hard. The arena froze for a moment before erupting into chaos. Topales rose bravely, eyes foggy, heart unbroken. But Inoue was merciless in precision. He didn't rush, he calculated. Every movement had intention. Topales survived the round, but the tide had turned forever. Through rounds 5 and 6, Topales tried to regain ground. He fired combinations to the body, searching for any sign of vulnerability. But Inoue's defense was a masterpiece of motion, head movement, balance, and seamless footwork. Even blocked shots carried damage. Topales began to fade, his punches slowing, his breathing heavy. Inoue, however, looked untouched. Round 7 brought a final spark of resistance. Topales stepped right, tried to vary his jab, and even caught Inoue with a short counter. The crowd cheered his bravery. But champions don't just fight back, they adapt. Inoue adjusted instantly, doubling his right hand, changing rhythm, then catching Topales mid-step. The sound of that connection silenced the arena. Topales stumbled backward, willpower alone keeping him upright. The end drew near. By round 9, everyone sensed it, the pattern, the rhythm, the inevitability. Inoue stalked him like a craftsman finishing a sculpture, every strike calculated, every angle precise. Topales refused to surrender, but his body told the truth. The monster's eyes never wavered. Then, round 10. Inoue feinted low, drew Topales' guard down, then unleashed a right hand that detonated through the gloves. Topales folded backward, hitting the canvas like a statue collapsing. The referee's count echoed, but there would be no recovery. The monster had done it again. Another knockout. Another unification. Another legend born before our eyes. When Inoue's arm was raised, the moment felt historic, not because of the belts, but because of what he represented. Precision over chaos. Calm over fury. Art over destruction. The crowd bowed, cameras flashed, and Inoue's expression remained still, as if greatness was his natural state. Even partially blocked punches from him carried the weight of finality. His timing, balance, and power turned simple jabs into instruments of devastation. Topales, respectful in defeat, admitted what many already knew, that Inoue was something beyond human timing. Every punch, Topales said, felt heavier than it looked. And so, Naoya Inoue stood as the undefeated, undisputed super bantamweight champion of the world. Each opponent brought a different flavor, Neri's recklessness, Fulton's pride, Topales' courage, yet they all met the same ending. Against Inoue, it wasn't just about strength or speed, it was about levels. He existed on one reserved for legends. He had avenged Yamanaka's legacy, silenced his critics, unified 4 divisions, and reshaped the narrative of Japanese boxing. What once was doubt had become dominance. What once was national pride had become global awe. Every performance, every knockout, and every perfectly timed counter was another brushstroke in his masterpiece. But beneath the titles and trophies lies something deeper, the discipline of a man who finds serenity in violence. To him, fighting isn't about rage, it's about control. It's about the pursuit of flawless execution. The ring is his canvas, the gloves his tools, and the silence after each knockout his signature. As the lights dimmed on his latest triumph, cameras zoomed in on his face. Calm. Unshaken. Already thinking of the next mountain to climb. What comes next? The commentators wondered. Another division. Another champion. Another night of brilliance? Perhaps. Because hunger like his never truly ends. Naoya Inoue, Japan's monster, boxing's perfectionist, and one of the rare athletes who blend brutality with grace. He conquered divisions, rewrote history, and reminded the world that greatness doesn't shout. It whispers. It moves with precision. It leaves no doubt. And so, the legend continues. The monster's shadow stretches across boxing's future, daring anyone brave enough to step inside the storm. But until that next name is called, the story stands as it is, one of beauty, discipline, and dominance unlike anything the sport has seen in generations. If you enjoyed the story, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and use the hype feature to support Naoya Inoue and the channel. Thank you for watching. And remember, fighting is not just violence.